Guys doing this is very important in reference to the history and the lies of dirty government and how far they have went trying to steal my identity and how far they've went trying to steal monies and properties and mansions, and they've tried to steal from my mother and father's vaults that are in the mansions. These people tried to steal valuable paintings and jewelry from my mother and father's mansions. These people have tried to steal. And, you know, this government man tried to call me a violent person. We need the time and date, man, that you ever made up shit. I'm not supposed to be subservient to your government agents, man. My mother and father was richer than the government. My mother and father was richer than you people. Your CIA and FBI people don't outrank me. But you've been terrorizing me since I was a little boy. This satellite man keeps communicating, trying to call me a violent person. I've never been a violent person. I need the time and date that you made up, the time and date of your accusations of somebody being a violent person. I have rare genetics, royal blood, purple blood. These people have tried to steal my sperm. These people have tried to steal my blood. These people tried to call me a violent person when I'm a pretty boy, so, I'm not always interested in any public activities of anybody trying to get violent with me. You understand that? So in reference to the information, they're messing with my throat right now, too. It's another attempts of murder. The satellite man thinks he's the Boston Strangler or something. Is that who you think you are, government man? Because there's going to be a new investigation into your satellite crimes. Whether you're the satellite Boston Strangler, choking people with satellites. And the Nazis have had a history of choking people. You understand that? In reference to them hanging people or something. The Nazis had a history of that. And Adolf Hitler had a history of that shit. Better quit messing with my face and teeth and throat, man. I'm not German, man. Not never. But anyways, back to the point of this government man. I'm not Middle Eastern either. My ethnicity and DNA is on record and has been since the day I was born. So in reference to the information of this government man trying to call me a violent person, needs a time and date. And we need to see what people that person that made up these accusations, who that person had contact with, who that person had secret meetings with. Because, see, there was things in history where there was females that I was friends with in the past that had meetings with Frank Sinatra illegally. There was restraining orders on Frank Sinatra. There was restraining orders on most of the presidents since the 70s, except President Reagan. He was friendly. But, my mother had restraining orders on all these presidents. My mother was richer than presidents. My mother and father was richer than presidents. My parents was richer than the government. You guys understand that, right? Very important. And administrations are not the value of the government. So, in reference to political parties trying to become dictator administrations in America, that is treason, that is illegal. But anyways, back to the point. This government man tried to call me violent. And he tried to use assassins and tried to hire assassins to try to murder me during his presidency or during his government office or whoever he is. That is treason. And that man does have to be prosecuted. Some people know who that man is. Or maybe it was a couple people in the government. They just made me burp. The satellite man did. But anyways, back to the point. This government man tried to call me violent. And he was one of the kidnappers. And he had ties with these assassins that tried to murder me. He had ties with these government agents that tried to murder me. And they are government agents that had been involved in the murder of my father. And they have been involved in the murder of my mother. These government agents. And they've been involved in holding me hostage. You think a hostage is supposed to be what, man? The fact that you used government facilities to hold me hostage, and you were getting paid American money from American government under the table or whatever you were trying to do to hold me hostage and to try to murder me, that's prosecutable. The Treasury has to prosecute your people for illegal expenditures and bribes and illegal monies under the table that your government agents had been paid by somebody else in government that was trying to steal my mother and father's estates. If that's what you were doing. There has to be an investigation to see what you were doing. But if somebody will try to say, oh, this man claimed that you were violent. I've never picked a fight. I'm the child of my mother and father. Your government agents have been terrorizing my life. Never did nothing to nobody. Never did nothing to you. And you made up all your lies. Everything you try to say can and is supposed to be used against you. I'm the good guy, not the bad guy. You're the bad guys. You're not the good guys. I'm the only child of my mother and father. So in reference to this government man that made up this violent accusation, find out what people they had meetings with that had their names on the hate club list. People that had conspired against me and my mother and father, such as dirty politics trying to steal land in America. And, you know, they try to channel through different races. They try to pay them monies illegally to try to make up lies and their activities. But see, I don't hang out with any of those people. And everybody knows or people know where I'm at every day. So in reference to any of these government people trying to steal the oil industry or the cattle industry or the chicken industry or the vegetable industry or fruit industry in America or whatever product industry, there has to be court cases. So, you know, in reference to these government people, an investigation on any person that ever made accusations against me, there has to be court cases. And they have to check to see if they had any meetings or hidden agendas with any person that has conspired against my parents or me. Such as, did they have meetings with Frank Sinatra at any time? Any of these people that's been stealing my postal mail or monies, are they friends with Frank Sinatra? I'm not friends with Frank Sinatra. And the names of the men that was arrested outside my mother's mansion that night my mother had gotten shot and I had gotten shot must get put in the newspapers and on websites. And it must get advertised who they are and what people got arrested. Some people know who the man was, or his accomplices. They messed with my mouth. The man and his accomplices that trespassed into Beverly Hills. And you guys know that Frank got blackballed from Beverly Hills, right? And they just hit me in the throat. And Frank's one of the people that's blocking me from my mother and father's mansions. So the Beverly Hills Council, the Beverly Hills Police Department needs to do a police report on what the problem is. Meaning, like, has the Beverly Hills Council tried to send me a letter or what? I haven't received any letters from them either. You know, there should be a lot of cops going around asking a lot of questions. Investigators saying, which people are blocking me from my mother and father's mansions? What's their names? You know, my father built Beverly Hills. And he built Bel Air. There was nothing there when my grandfathers built Beverly Hills and Bel Air. That's why it's my father's construction company or my mother's construction company that's only allowed to work in Beverly Hills and Bel Air. So if you guys are wondering, and don't forget, my mother and father built mansions and my grandparents built mansions. And these people are blocking me from the mansions that my mother and father and grandparents had built. What ties do these people claim they had to the mansions of my mother and father? Those people had no ties at all. My parents built those mansions from the ground up. My father and grandfather built Beverly Hills and Bel Air. And a lot of other places. Places in Colorado, places in Las Vegas, all kinds of places. You know. But, in reference to, and New York City too, But, it's very important in reference to people, when these people have made these accusations. That man was hitting me in the teeth trying to call me a violent person. I got cameras in here too. So, in reference to this man making up his accusations of violence, what was the circumstances? What's the name of the person? What did the person do? You tried to accuse me? Better leave my cat alone, man. You already made her vomit earlier. Now you got her running around skittish. You're laser tagging on my cat. That's animal rights violations. So in reference to your government man that accused me of being a violent person. I'm a pretty boy. I don't get into violence, action films or movies, being an actor, entertainer. And don't forget the lawsuits are in reference to factual violations of your crimes, government man. And you're embezzling time and money by blocking me from my rights of living my lifestyle that I was born into. And in reference to the estates of my parents. You tried to play this estrangement game, trying to estrange me from my mother and father's mansions. Who are you to be doing this? Who do you think you are? You have no legal ties to the property, not even 1 square inch of the fucking properties. And you won't ever. And your activities of holding me hostage, your activities of blocking me from revenues in the media or the entertainment industry, and no, I haven't received any monies from Pornhub either. Or this man trying to steal my penis, this man trying to damage my face, this man trying to steal my identity. Who do you think you are, man? Everything's real about me. And I'm going to tell you, as they want you to know, if you stole any of my penis, you're going to get prosecuted. And the Supreme Court communicated earlier, too, saying something like, they're warning you about tucking the penis. Better quit tucking the penis. And they communicated that probably around 4 o'clock or something. Somewhere around there. 3 o'clock, or whatever it was. Around that time or something. But anyways, when I was in the shower, the Supreme Court communicated that or something. But whatever time that was. But the government man, you think you have a right tucking a person's penis? I always hide my penis underneath my clothing. So in reference to your accusations, government man, you have absolutely no rights at all. You're trying to play control games, claiming you thought you were a bigger man than my father or my grandfather, government man. That's what you're trying to do. Better show up in court. And they need to have it on record, on public information, somewhere, in reference to my penis size, and what it is, and what it's supposed to be, if they had stolen any of it. Because it's documented since the day I was born. And this man tucking up the penis has tried to cause anal bleeding by tucking up the penis. They've tried to call me fat when they've been tucking up the penis. See, when my penis is let out, my stomach's flat. But this man trying to cram up the penis and them kicking in the dick with their satellite, it's attempted murder. Them trying to cause anal bleeding and tailbone damage, and haven't received any compensation yet. My big penis has never caused me any problems. It's never caused any problems for any girlfriends I ever had, or any relationships with any females. And my race doesn't have a problem with big penises. So who the hell are you, and what race are you, government man? And in reference to the situation of these government people claiming they thought, and then they'll say something stupid. He'll say, keep your dick in your pants. Really? And when was it out of my pants? Need time and date on that, man. And you better quit trying to burn the piss out of me, too, with your satellite. That leaves marks on the body. That puts markings on the penis skin, too. And your tasers and shit like that. So in reference to the information the Supreme Court communicated earlier, and they were communicating that that man needs to leave my penis alone, quit tucking the penis. This is personal anatomy. This is about, my rights. No, I don't walk around with my dick hanging out. No, I don't hang it down the leg so people can see it. No, I don't. So in reference to you tucking my penis, they even tuck my penis even when I'm inside by myself. They're always pushing down on me, like they're trying to tuck. It's like they're cockpitting on my hips. Who do you think you are, government man? You thought you would do this to somebody else's penis because you wanted to claim to have a bigger penis, right? Has the news mentioned how big my penis is on the news networks? You can say that it's for protection, history information too. And then somebody will say, well, they wouldn't want their dick to be that big. I don't care what you want about yours. Mine is documented for my identity and for who I am. I don't walk around out in public in the nude. It's kind of like these people trying to make up shit. Like, they'll say some girl dressing provocatively that some gay rape or some rapist man would try to rape some girl. Well, this man trying to say a man having a big dick underneath their clothing or having a big penis. This man claims he thought if somebody knew somebody had a big penis, that man would attack them because you thought they were dressing provocatively. You need to go into court. And my penis has been documented my whole life. And the fact that you tried to downgrade my natural qualities and who I am, government man, you need to go to court. And you need to get prosecuted. You don't have a right tucking my penis no matter what your opinion is. I don't hang out with you. There ain't never been any problem, situation that I've ever caused. No, there has not. There's never been a problem. I've never caused a problem. And when they kidnapped me back in the 80s and they were holding me hostage in this neighborhood, I had to wear the clothes that they provided because they were blocking me from my clothing that my mother had sent when they held me hostage. Because my mother was trying to send me money and things, but they kept stealing it all the time, even back in the 80s. But if somebody said, oh, they saw his big dick when he was a little boy back in the 80s, is what they might say. The only clothes I had is what they had here. What they allowed me to wear. They stole the millions of dollars that my mother had sent. And they had blocked my mother several times from rescuing me, but my mother had went into court and then, took a little time, and then I got rescued and kidnapped. After that, I got, rescued and kidnapped and rescued and kidnapped and rescued and kidnapped several times. And my mother rescued me several times. And then in 93, between 93 and 94, I got kidnapped again and held hostage in Indiana. Then I was down in Bloomington. Many things of importance. So, in reference to these government people holding me hostage and slandering my character, their names are supposed to be on the hate club list, so any information they try to say is gag orders against their people. They must get prosecuted. And in reference to the man tucking the penis, they're tucking my penis right now. They're cockpitting on me. And Supreme Court, that's more lawsuits. Every time they're burning me, every time they're touching me, every time they're trying to tamper with my body, every time they're trying to play puppet games or voodoo doll torture, it's attempts to murder. It's lawsuits every time. More lawsuits every day. And there's lawsuits on the previous lawsuits because I've not been paid any of the lawsuit monies from before. And there's got to be lawsuits against these people and prosecution against these people because they've been blocking my teeth from healing by causing more damage with their satellites and them hitting me in the face and teeth. That's attempted murder, and that's sexual assault. And that's illegal possession. These people damaging my face, holding me hostage, and fabricating that they thought they owned me. You don't own me, man. That Royal Protocol even says if somebody claimed that they thought they owned me, or they claimed that I was their slave and they claimed to be master of something. That Royal Protocol in the media has those document informations or, categories of what it says has to be done to that person. That person has to get arrested for trying to steal my mother and father's estates and holding me hostage and abusing me. There's a lot of, categories of laws and sections of laws that say, certain procedures. But this man trying to tucking the penis all the time, why are you doing that, man? Because you're trying to cop a feel? Trying to sexually assault? What you tucking the penis for? Because you want to feel like a bigger man? You want to be in control of somebody else's child's penis? I'm the child of my mother and father. I'm not your child, government man. Because you wanted your child to claim they had a bigger penis than me, government man? When I'm the child of my mother and father? I'm not sure how old you are, who you are, whatever your problem is, but I'm not your child. And this is America. You can't put your German regulations on American penises, man. You don't have a right downgrading penises in America. You don't have a right stealing penises either. Want to go to court about it? And don't forget, I'm a royal of my mother and father. And your blood type's not the same as mine. My DNA is rare. And it's on the list of rare genetics. And the fact of you and your people trying to steal my penis or trying to steal my popularity or trying to block my fame and history of who I am and my career in Hollywood and the media, because you're trying to steal the limelight, you're trying to steal who I am, you're trying to steal my accomplishments, you're going to need to go to court, government man. Royal Protocol's in the media of my identity for a lot of reasons. And one of the reasons is so you don't steal my accomplishments or who I am, or my revenues from the media, or anything else. It's in the media so you don't get away with trying to block me from my mother and father's mansions either. Or are you trying to steal my credentials? Or the history of TV shows and movies and music? You've tried to steal my accomplishments, government man. And you tried to steal inventions. You tried to steal my accomplishments of a lot of things. You need to go into court. I haven't received a penny from anywhere. Oh, in reference to the PEUC, I guess that's back on. Thank you for, reinstating the PEUC. I'm sure there's a lot of Americans that, would put their hands together and pray and scream, thank God that you guys reinstated that. You really don't understand how serious that is probably, but in reference to people needing the PEUC. So in reference to politicians and court judges, many thanks in reference to reinstating that. That's very, very, very so important. It is very important. Most people, most people praise the court judges on that. Even though it's till September, the people that are receiving the PEUC, they definitely would probably say thanks to the court judges and the people that, brought the issue to, the media and the history of how important it is that people have the PEUC and the processes of, careers and things like that. There's history of the pandemics and, and the history of, the stampeding people of trying to get jobs, and then, there's the door size of trying to get their foot in the door at a business is only so big, and the human resources of companies a lot of times take a lot of time to evaluate applications and things like that too, you know. But I'm just mentioning this, you know, in reference to a general processes of what people and, you know, people in government that maybe then, you know, the Federal Reserve knew that things take time. And back to the point of the PEUC, you know, thanks to the court judges and people for turning those back on for the people in America. And, you know, hopefully things keep going in that direction and in good ways, you know. Many things of importance. But, you know, I'm trying to get home to my mother and father's mansions. Does all the governors and mayors and good politicians know where my mother and father's mansions are at? Because I haven't received a letter from any of them. Of course, I know where some of them are at, but I don't have the key to none of them. And I'm not sure which people are doing security around the mansions of my mother and father. But anyways, you know, I traveled to the East Coast. I traveled to the West Coast. You know, didn't receive nothing in the past when I traveled over there. So anyways, you know, it's kind of a very serious thing in reference to this situation, you know, because I got kidnapped from my mother and father's mansions. So, you know, it's in California government has not sent me anything in the postal mail. Not received nothing from any of the governors or mayors. And hello, Wyoming, no, I haven't received anything from anywhere. I haven't received anything from Chicago. And I own my mother and father's mansions in Chicago, too. My mother and father had property on the Gold Coast. Don't have a key to nothing. Anyways, I'm over here at the little house in Indianapolis. And, of course, there's a lot of things that are important in reference to the history of the future, too. Lots of things. But, you know, I need to be at my mother and father's mansions. You know, family law is very important. And this government man, whoever this CIA or FBI man is that's holding me hostage, and their satellite controllers that have been beating me up, all their accusations need to be tried in court. Meaning for them making up lies to slander my character and their activities of holding me hostage. I'm not your lab rat, I'm not your guinea pig, I'm not your toy. I'm not your voodoo doll or anything. You're trying to play pins and needles, sticking somebody with pins and needles. And your satellite laser mutilation games and microwave. I'm not gay, man. And I've requested, you know, a female friend, you know, a celebrity friend. Nobody showed up yet. You know. So, obviously, you know, the governors and mayors and the Treasury need to look at that information of what my mother had on record in reference to the fact that I was supposed to be around females. Because this government man is a gay man that's holding me hostage. So, you know, anytime I bitch and complain, that gay man probably gets turned on or something in his gay fetishes or whatever his problem is. And most of those gay men, they don't like women. They don't like it if a woman complains to these gay men about their illegal activities or their abuses. That's why one of the reasons why I'm supposed to be around females all the time. Or most of the time, you know. And I don't know which girl wanted to claim to be my girlfriend, or which girl has claimed to be my girlfriend, but they're not here. I haven't received a letter from anywhere. So I don't know what anybody's doing. But I'm still being held hostage, and they need to make YouTube videos in reference to whichever females or whichever people in Hollywood have been holding on to monies from my mother, because that way that would protect them, that they were in possession of monies that they were supposed to have delivered to me. That video would protect them in reference to media protection laws, so they'd be able to come over and deliver monies. You know, it'd be in the history books. And they need to say why they didn't give me the money in the past when I was in California, or, you know, why they haven't delivered the monies, or if they tried to send things in the postal mail or whatever. Lots of things of importance.